Good morning, Facebook family. Good morning. How are you? I haven't done a live reading in a long time. I'm being asked to do one today. I'm going to try to keep it quick because I have a lot of business to handle. It is Holy Thursday, and it is the day when our Lord taught us about servant leadership by washing the feet of his apostles and telling people that if you wanted to be a leader, you had to be a servant of the people. So, I'm going to ask that any negative energy, any interference, any energy keeping me from giving an accurate reading, sending accurate and clear messages from the divine and no other source to any person who is a seeker, please, Father God, in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, also errantly called Jesus Christ, I ask that you immediately block, bind, and remove from my energy, the energy in this household, and the people in this household, in this space, and in this reading, anything negative, anything that's blocking clear messaging, and that you cast it out of this space and this energy and return it to the sender, and that it rests on the sender's head, unless doing so will harm an innocent, in which case, Father God, I ask that you break all of that energy, all of that negative energy, deceptive energy, into its smallest elements and scatter it into the ether so that it may never be joined up again and used to send harm towards anyone or any entity. I ask that again in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, by whose authority we cast out unclean, deceptive, and evil energies and spirits. There are about 700 people on my page. If you have an objection to my beliefs, if you have an objection to readings, you are free to scroll past. Okay? Do not comment or whatever if it's against what you believe or it poses a problem for you. Please instead scroll past. All right? Also, please do not send me any calls or messages about any shows. Okay? I don't call you at 7 or 8 in the morning to disturb your meditations, your prayers, or your breakfast. Please don't do it here. Okay? You know how to reach me concerning the show. You will be responded to. You will be dealt with honestly. Okay? If you don't believe that because you're listening to some stuff, don't engage me in the first place. Okay? So that being put out there, because I want to clear all that other stuff and keep it separate from the reading. This is a collective reading. Not everything that you hear may apply to you. It may apply to other people. Okay? So take what resonates with you and might apply to your situation and leave the rest for others. Please understand that this is free. There's no money being charged. There's nothing owed. And this is for entertainment purposes only. Your belief is your belief, but this is for entertainment purposes only. Okay? I don't purport to have any special powers. The cards are only a tool. There are signposts on the side of the road telling you more about what direction you might be going in already, or perhaps what direction you might want to consider going in instead. They in and of themselves do not have any power. I do not have any power. You control your own destiny. You control your own life. You have free will and free agency. Okay? You're responsible for your choices. You're responsible for your action and your inaction. If you have any matters having to do with legal issues, having to do with health issues or financial issues, etc., you should consult a licensed professional in your area. Okay? Please do not depend on someone reading a pack of cards to make major decisions. We're all grown here. Okay? Use the brain you were given. Okay? All right. That being said, I'm going to go right into it. I've asked for clarity. This is going to be a cartomancy, essentially a cartomancy reading, which is in the tradition of my family. I'm going to start, however, with the tarot. I'm using the Black Gold Tarot deck. All the artwork and the images, which are initially from the Rider-Waite, are copyrighted. They aren't mine. Credit goes to the artists, whoever distributed it, whoever has the rights to it. I'm going to pull the tarot. I'm not just going to use only the major arcana, but also the minor arcana to get a general energy for this reading. Thank you. Immediately, I received the Nine of Pentacles reversed. The Nine of Pentacles reversed indicates a lack of stability, reckless spending, shady investments, lack of security, dissatisfaction, exploitation, deceit, death, and failure. That's not good. It is a Virgo energy, earth energy. Could also be a Taurus. Could also be a Capricorn. Okay. Now, before I started this, I asked Spirit to please put out messages to any person on my page who needs a message. Now, you just saw me shuffle. I shuffle in front of people. I cut in front of people. I do not, have it laid out ahead of time. What comes out live, and I have no control over what comes out. I kind of know what this is about already. Okay, Spirit wants to address this. I'll be addressing it also on my own, but Spirit wants to address this. Apparently, there are people on this page who have much to say and need it addressed, so I'm going to go ahead and put it out. I ask Spirit that any messaging that goes to the collective people watching my page, please give detailed information to confirm that the messages are not coming from me, because there might be something that I might say or pick up on that I couldn't possibly know, and that would be confirmation that the message is coming not from me. Okay, so that is the Nine of Pentacles reversed. This is what Spirit wishes to address now. I'm going to put it here so you can see it. Okay. The rest is going to be, I usually do angel cards for additional vibrations. I'm not going to do it. This is a central concern. Okay. I'm doing a cartomancy spread. I'm using regular bicycle deck reading as per the tradition of my family, which goes back a really long time. We're talking about great-grandmother, great-great-grandmother, maternal side. Okay. Anshala Kiana Hasea. Anshala Kiana Hasea. Anshala Kiana Hasea. Father God, Spirit guides, angels, in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, what do we need in our first line of this spread? First line represents past. Immediate past, not distant past. Ankalashea. They're telling me to do it correctly. They're telling me no popcorn spread, okay? I love these because they're small and they're easy to shuffle. All of the cards are in the deck. All of them. The usual deck of playing cards. Nothing missing, nothing added. There may be jokers in here. Usually I remove the jokers, but I didn't remove them. If we see a joker, we'll see what I'm led to do with it. Jokers, when they come out, usually are indicator cards. when you leave them in. Some people remove them, others do not. I usually remove them, but I forgot to, and I'm just going to take it as what's supposed to come out will come out. Ankalashea Ahliana Hasa. Kaneshea. Whatever messaging needs to come out. Oh, this one flew out. The 9 of Spades, which corresponds in tarot to the 9 of Swords. We have 2 9s. I find that significant. Is a row of 5. I won't comment until I see the other surrounding cards. Oh, Beast fell out also. Spirit telling me to reshuffle. What fell out along with the 9 of Spades that I didn't see, for those of you who are wondering, was the 8 of Diamonds and the 4 of Clubs. I'm not going to read them. I'm going to take that as a fluke, and if they're meant to come back out in the reading, they will. I'm feeling an angry energy. What I'm going to say is, don't be angry. If you don't believe in something, scroll past. Don't get angry at other people who believe differently from you. They're not attacking you by simply having their belief. Okay? Whatever anger you're feeling, look within and think about, why are you angry if nobody's forcing anything on you and they're just living their life? Doing what they believe. They're not forcing anything on you. You have a choice. Scroll past. Just like it's not, I don't believe it's my mission to go around converting people and preaching to them and telling them what to believe and how to live their life, nor should anyone else do the same. Okay, so the angry energy I'm feeling, I'm going to rebuke it. Anshalasea, yeah, the energy that's angry about my beliefs and wants to twist them into something that they're not, wants to characterize them as something that they're not, I rebuke it in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, also known as Jesus Christ. Yeshua HaMashiach is only Jesus Christ in Aramaic. Jesus was Jewish, and he spoke Aramaic. He did not speak English. He did not speak Latin. Okay? So I call him by the name that he would have been called when he was walking this earth in the flesh. We have the 3 of Swords. Again, I'm going to comment when it's telling me not to put it in the middle. Okay? Do it the old way. Okay. Okay, we have the 3 of Swords. I'm not going to comment until they're all laid out. Again, this line is for recent past. Two of Diamonds, which is a very good card. 10 of Hearts, also a very good card. 8 of Hearts, also a very good card. If there was a yes-no question in anyone's heart, if there was a yes-no question in anyone's heart when I was speaking or beginning to lay out the cards, the answer that Spirit is given is yes. In cartomancy, if you get more red cards than black cards, it is a yes. It leans towards yes. The more red cards there are, the stronger the yes. This is a yes with a bit of a caveat or a bit of a warning. Okay, we have the nine of swords. Okay, or the nine of spades. Okay, we have the three of spades, which represents a third party, as in third party harassment, third party, someone sneaking around, spreading problems, spreading gossip, or someone who's saying that they're committed to you, but they have something else going on. People who may be saying that they're a friend, they're here to help, they're here to collaborate, or somebody in a romantic relationship who's trying to play like they're true to you, but they're actually betraying you behind your back, speaking ill of you behind your back, sowing seeds of doubt behind your back, taking the information that you give them, trying to use it for themselves in their own interest and usurp you. In a business relationship, or cheating can represent cheating, betrayal. Okay, the three of spades is very similar, almost exactly as the three of swords in tarot. Okay, so there is a third party who's playing like they're a friend, going around behind someone's back, spreading all kinds of nonsense to try to sabotage their efforts. Okay, or it's somebody who is in a romantic relationship who is not entirely honest about their feelings or about the fact that it's monogamous or committed. Okay, this is a person who is cheating or just has a tendency to cheat. You know, maybe they feel safer when they're cheating because they have low self-esteem or abandonment issues, and so having something on the side is like their safeguard, their trapdoor, you know, their plan B, so that they can have a certain degree of control over that person or that situation. I'm getting a message from Spirit that this person may not actually be cheating, but they might want to have the assumption that they are put out there because they believe that by having that, I can cheat at any time, or I have other options. By putting it out there, they feel that they have some kind of emotional or financial or other control over the other party. They believe if they can make someone jealous or keep that person insecure about the status of the relationship, that gives them a certain amount of both financial or social or emotional power. That is abusive. I'm going to call it what it is. And it's cowardly. So if there's someone doing that, it's abusive and it's cowardly. And again, understand, I'm speaking in spirit. Okay, I usually try not to be judgmental, but I'm getting an angry energy. Someone's angry, or spirit is angry, and I don't know what to say. Again, you saw me shuffle. Okay, then we have the two of diamonds, snake eyes. This is one of the best cards in the deck. Okay. This is I'll get into it more. The 10 of hearts, wish, full fulfillment, love fulfillment. Someone doesn't want to see this person succeed. They don't want that person to be fulfilled. They don't want that person to be fulfilled professionally. They don't want that person to be fulfilled emotionally. They don't want that person to be fulfilled financially. But most of all, they do not want them fulfilled emotionally. They do not want them to be loved. They do not want them to be respected. They do not want them to be cherished. They want this person to have a bad reputation. They want this person to be isolated socially with their friends, and to not have any lovers, to not, they want them to not have this fulfillment. But Spirit is saying that it's written for them. They're going to have it irrespective of that. And that's also part of the angry and jealous energy. So there's someone maybe who is in love with you and is having trouble admitting it because it doesn't come in the package that they thought it was supposed to come in, but here it is. And instead of just admitting their feelings and examining their biases, they are attacking and trying to at the same time compete, or they're jealous professionally or socially of you at the same time, which is crazy. Um, but Spirit is saying you're still gonna have this love. You're still gonna have this love and this fulfillment. Okay. Um, the Eight of Hearts. Now, in tarot, this corresponds to the Eight of Cups, which means that you are walking away from what no longer serves you and walking towards what serves your highest good. The tarot card associated with this depicts somebody. There's 8 cups. They're all poured out, and they're in the distance with their back turned, with their staff, walking away from those cups because they've been spilled over. There's nothing to salvage. There's nothing in the cups that could fulfill that person, and they might be a little disappointed, but they are accepting the situation as it is and moving away from the situation that does not serve them, that doesn't have any more value or use. Okay? So instead of crying over it, like we see in the 5 of Cups or whatever, instead of crying over it, instead of, trying to salvage something that can't be salvaged, they're accepting the situation as it is and moving forward. And this is a very positive card because it represents how much you love yourself. That you know that you are deserving of love, you are deserving of a situation that's reciprocal, you're deserving of a situation that's respectful. And so you are choosing your friends, you are choosing your business partners, you are choosing your sexual partners, you're choosing your love partners in a space of self-love and mutual love and mutual aid and mutual respect and balance. So anything that isn't in that energy, you're walking away from. The 8s represent abundance and stability. So you're walking towards stability and you're walking towards abundance. And I find that interesting because we started off here with the reverse 9 of Pentacles, which represents instability, especially financial instability. And then we have here the 9 of Swords. The 9 of Swords represents, well, if this was a tarot card, it would represent, and I'll go into the difference between the tarot and the regular cards in a minute. If this was the 9 of Spades, or the 9 of Swords, a tarot, it depicts a person sitting up at night, unable to sleep, anxious, worried, concerned, maybe concerned about their professional reputation, concerned about their finances, concerned about their money, concerned about their relationship, concerned about their safety, their health. They're sitting up, crying, weeping. This is someone who's crying over you and not admitting it. And also someone who wants to deny their feelings and say that it's witchcraft or it's manipulation when no such manipulation is occurring. Or who sees that someone is struggling to do something and maybe needs help, and instead of helping and supporting them, is trying to brand them a charlatan for their own personal purposes and gain, and because of their own insecurities and problems. This is what I'm getting. Okay, so this is someone sitting up who's anxious, who's unable to sleep, who's maybe angry, who's worried, distraught, driven to distraction, right? And they're driven to distraction or upset over a situation or because of a situation that is a third-party situation, whether it's third-party harassment, gossip, slander, or a lover who isn't faithful, has a record of not being faithful, likes to put the energy out there and play jealous and play stupid head games, codependent head games, to keep people under emotional control so that they feel this way. They believe that if a person is anxious and jealous and scared and insecure and constantly afraid of losing them, that this somehow proves love, or this somehow ensures that that person will never abandon or leave them. That is not that's codependent is not a healthy dynamic. And we can have codependency not only in love relationships, but we can have codependency in business relationships, because we bring our energy and our patterns with us into other situations. So there will be people, for example, who are unable to separate their personal feelings from the job. Okay, there will be people who will treat, for example, if I'm going to give an example that resonates with me, but it may not. It's an example from me, but it may not resonate with other people. And I'm sorry, but I can only use the example that I have. Okay, but here's an example. Somebody has codependent, toxic relationships with females, right? And so they go into a workplace or they go into a creative collaboration, right? And they treat the women who are in that collaboration or in that business the same as they would treat their partner in a codependent manner because they don't know how to deal with women any other way. And they're not able to see that there is a difference between how you treat your wife or your spouse or your girlfriend or your sexual partner and how you treat someone who is at a job. They're not able to make that distinction because they're stuck in their stuff and they have healing to do. Mostly it comes from having healing to do. Hurt people, okay? And we all learn our lessons. But this is the messaging I'm being given. This person is very anxious and upset, and it has to do with someone trying to keep them in a situation where third parties is interfering. Now, understand, a third party does not necessarily mean all the time another person or another another person. Okay, so for example, the third party could be anything that interferes with the relationship. So if you have a drug problem, that drug problem or that alcohol problem that's not being looked into could be the third party situation that's keeping this person, this in anxiety and everything, and impacting this. Okay, if you are a workaholic, you're always at work, you're not emotionally present for your family, your job, your fear of losing money to the point where you throw yourself into your job and you forget that the reason why you work is for your family, and so you're not working on the connection to your kids, to your wife, to your family. That could be a third party thing. Work being your addiction, gambling. It could be a family member who maybe you depend on financially, who maybe is in charge of your trust fund, or who is in or whatever it is, and or who you depend on maybe for housing, right? And you're afraid to offend them, right? You're not happy with them. You're afraid to offend them. You're afraid to leave, right? Because you feel that if you do, you won't have that security, the financial security, that housing. Valid concerns, and so you remain in this situation with them, but then you have the other thing on the side because you have to have happiness from somewhere, but you don't feel you can leave. The third party in that situation is actually not necessarily the person, the other love interest. The third party might be the use of housing or the use of money as a control to keep someone in a relationship that they no longer are happy in, that isn't working, that they don't want to be in. Okay, the third party could be codependency, not knowing any other way to be in a relationship because you've never experienced anything else. You've never seen anything else, so it's the only thing you know. The third party could be anything outside of the two people involved, right, directly, that is impacting the situation, and usually in a negative way. Okay, these are swords. Okay, so this is the warning, this is the concern, this is the worry. All right, that is the caveat for this. Yes, so the spirit is saying, yes, you're going to walk towards things that serve you. You're going to walk towards things that are going to help you build what you want to build, that speak to your heart creatively, or that speak to your heart, or that help you financially. Yes, you're going to achieve this. You're going to get to a point where you have self-love and you focus on what you need to do to build properly and reach your goal and have it prosper, because you're making better choices as to what serves you, what doesn't serve you, what's practical, what's impractical, and that's part of the learning experience. And you're gonna be all right. 8 is the number of abundance. Okay, yes, you're going to know love. Your cup, is going to be full and run over. You're going to complete cycles, okay, in your life. You're going to have that fulfillment, whether it's a love relationship, a sexual relationship, or love relationships could be friendships. Love relationships could be your family. Love relationship could be the relationship you have with the divine, or the relationship you have with yourself. Okay? Which has to come first. Then we have the Two of Diamonds, which has to do with money, mirroring, reciprocity. Okay? Snake eyes. Alright? So I'm going to go into the Cartomancy. I did that just now, just on intuitive, and also making the comparison and bridging it to tarot. But Cartomancy is not tarot. It's a method prior to tarot. Tarot came out of this. Okay, this does not come out of tarot. So, this was first. So let's see what we get when we do our associations. We have air, right? Earth and water. Okay? So air, and earth and water. Although some people say spades is earth. Okay? But this is earth. Okay? Diamonds. The material. This is so far the only card that has to do with material other than this reverse Nine of Pentacles. Okay? Which is the energy that Spirit is addressing. Okay? Okay, so we're going to start from the middle. Now that we've laid it out, right? We're going to start from the middle, which is the Two of Diamonds. And I'm also doing this because I've come across readers who are learning, right? And who've asked for help. And I'm hoping that this will help them reading the regular deck of cards, because then they can send messaging or help other people. Okay? And again, this is entertainment purposes. So the Two of Diamonds, according to Cardarium, represents royal entertainment. So this has to do with, please go get the door, Doug. This is to do with entertainment. Okay. So maybe this venture here has to do with the creative project or entertainment. Spirit is not playing. Spirit has something to say, and it has to do with something I'm doing. But the message is not for me. The message is for other people who are watching what I'm doing on my page, who need, and I didn't know that was going to come out. You saw me lay it out. It's about work that I do. It shows. I'm just putting it out there. Apparently, that's what this is for. And I did ask Spirit to give me specific details that I would not know, could not possibly know. Give me those sounds, those details, and then this way, people who are watching, they'll say she couldn't possibly know that, and they'll know that this is not coming from me. Okay, so I want to say that I'm getting a song. I got it earlier when I was setting up. I got it earlier when I was setting up. It was a song by Mary J. Blige called Reminisce. And I pulled up the lyrics because it was driving me crazy. Douglas, you need to put away your clothes, okay? I'll let her help you. So Reminisce. The lyrics to Reminisce is, let's see. I know them because I used to listen to this song daily on my Walkman when I was in my early to mid 20s when it came out. I can remember when we had it all, you and I, reminisce on the love we had. Let's make the time tonight while the feeling's right, reminisce on the love we had. Let's make the time tonight when the feeling's right, reminisce on the love we had. I know we've been here before, the candlelight and you walking softly through my door. Come on in, my sweet, how have you been? You're so nice, but tonight we're going to be more than friends. I recall the days and ways of love we made. I still feel the heat when when we share each other. Don't you feel the magic and the mysteries in the air? Let's go down the lover's lane with the love we shared. Let's make the time tonight while the feeling's right. Reminisce on the love we had. Okay? So, um, yeah. I know that we've been here before. The candlelight and you walking softly through my door. Okay, so the person involved is either a past person or it's a past life reconnection. Okay, and the reference to flames, possibly a twin flame, if you believe in that sort of thing, connection. Okay, um, so the energy is strong. Um, but anyway, it says that the two of diamonds means royal entertainment. Okay, the cards are ruled by kings who are men of power and demand pompous festivities, but the queens would rather enjoy the company of jacks, their younger and more attractive boyfriends. So in this, the queen is the one who's stepping out. Okay, the two of diamonds is a sign that things are not as joyful as they look. Uh, it also represents a gift. So first of all, in terms of these cards here, this anxiety, things are not as joyful as they look. Someone's putting on a front for social or financial or whatever reasons, and they're not happy in the situation, whether it's a love situation, a professional situation, or whatever it is. And they're putting up a front to make it seem like things are better than they really are and keep up appearances. Okay, when meanwhile things are not as wonderful as they seem. Okay, it isn't an all out lie. It's, I got to keep up appearances, or I have a duty, or whatever. And meanwhile, somebody is going behind that person's back, and they mentioned the queens are going with the jacks. So it's a woman, it's an older woman, or it's a woman going after a younger man. Okay, yeah. Or if it's an older woman talking to a younger man, directing a younger man, and like I said, not necessarily just relationship. It could be a creative project. It could be business. So whoever it is that is the third party is a younger man who is being advised or led or influenced somehow by an older woman. How much older, the cards don't say, but remember, this is a 2 years, 2 decades, whatever, 2 months, 2 weeks. Maybe they communicated exactly 2 hours ago at around 7 in the morning. Who knows? The two of diamonds also means a gift or a fortunate purchase. Okay? So that's why when this came out and I said snake eyes and I said this is actually a positive card, in terms of finances, it means that someone's going to give you a donation, someone's going to give you a grant, someone's going to give you some type of gift. It's not necessarily going to be a large gift, but it's going to be a gift that assists you in reaching your goal or in getting by on your goal. So it's a gift or it's a fortunate purchase. So it could also be a purchase of something that's going to help you get along. So with your goal. So let's say, let me think. Your diamond, please lower it. Thank you. Or close your door. Thank you. So let's say that you have a fortunate purchase. You bought a new truck, right? You got it at a steal, or it was gifted to you, right? And that's gonna help you make money, either driving it as an Uber or starting a moving company or transporting things from place to place. I don't know why I'm getting a truck. I'm getting a van. It's white. Okay. They laugh about the tinted windows. There's something about the tint on them. It's not a normal tint, a black tint. It's either a green or a blue tint. And people kind of goof on it, but it does the job. This is what I'm getting. So for example, it's a purchase. It's something that you invest in. It maybe cost you money, but if in the long term or even the short term, it's going to save you money along down the line, or it's going to help you advance in building what it is that you want to build. Okay, so a fortunate purchase, a gift, something that someone gave to you. So now we're going to look from the middle. Like I said, we go from the middle, and this is also to help people who are learning to read. Okay, uh, and again, I want to remind people that this first line, is past, recent past experiences, a recent past energy that is influencing the present. So this is a two of diamonds. Okay, it says if it's by a heart, it is an offer in love, friendship, travel, profession, or pleasure. So you may be offered a job opportunity. You may be offered an opportunity to travel. Someone may come to you and ask to marry you, or ask to be in a more serious relationship with you. You might get a promotion. You might be given a little bit of money or a small loan to help you reach your goal. Okay? Okay? It says if it's by a spade, which here we have the three of spade, a service that somebody is glad of, or a gift, but it brings obligation with it sooner or later. So this is saying that in terms of the third party, maybe this third party person who is advising this individual is offering them some kind of promise of money, stability, professional stuff, or whatever in exchange for this, or they're putting up with this in exchange for, like I said earlier, housing, money, political or professional advancements. Okay, and they're saying, they're putting up with it because they feel they need stability, but there's a price to it that comes back to you. You're going to owe a debt, or it's going to impact you in a way that isn't necessarily positive later. So staying in a situation because this person has money and is keeping you housed, and you're afraid if you leave, you're going to lose your housing. You're afraid if you leave, you're going to lose the money. You're going to lose the prestige. People are going to gossip. Whatever the deal is, right? Is actually, the drawback is that it's killing you. It's killing you inside. So the drawback is your utter unhappiness. Or the drawback is maybe someone gives you that car or that small business loan. Well, you're going to have to pay it back with interest, right? Or if they give you the car, then anytime that they need for you to drive them somewhere, right, you're going to have to drop what you're doing and drive them, because they're going to say, well, you wouldn't have that car if it wasn't for me. So now anytime that I need to go grocery shopping, anytime that I need to move, anytime that I need a car for something, you're going to have to accommodate me because I'm the co-signer on the insurance, or I'm whatever, So it's a gift. If you're going this way, it's a gift that carries, a stipulation with it that may not necessarily be the most positive. Okay. All right. That's what, again, this is recent past energy. Okay. It says it represents love hurts and jealousy without reason. However, that person may want you to remain in jealous energy without reason, because that's the only leverage they might have. Okay, so you have the ability to threaten me with loss of house, loss of financial security, loss of job, but I have the ability to threaten you with emotional instability, because I can always leave you, I can always cheat on you. So there's a lot of weaponry going on in this situation. And I'm getting I'm getting angel in the centerfold. Na 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 na. Angel in a centerfold. Is somebody posting revenge porn or threatening it? Or considering it because they feel rejected? When perhaps the person that they're upset had no obligation. There was no obligation. There was no ring on anyone's finger. There was no obligation. And we're upset that this person didn't choose us. So now we're going to retaliate with revenge porn? Is that what's going on? I don't know where I got that from. Okay, it's not going to work because this person, the answer was yes. They're still gonna get the love and fulfillment, and it's not going to be with who's doing that. They're still going to get the love and the fulfillment, and they're still going to get a gift of some kind. Okay. Okay. Moving forward though to the 10. Okay, so even though there might be a situation with strings attached, right? It says that you're going to eventually move to a better situation, right? And away from what isn't serving you and what's toxic. Okay? All right. You may be offered more than one gift. You may be offered more than one. There might be more than one offer presented, and you're going to have to make a choice between those two offers. All right? That's another thing I'm getting. Spirit seems to be saying that if you walk away from what no longer serves you, even though you're frightened and you're not sure what will become of it, that is going to be the right offer. That is going to be the right direction to take. That's the advice. Or maybe that's what you did. Maybe you decided, screw you. I'm going to choose what makes me happy, and I'm going to walk away from this situation because this is what I want. And I love myself enough to work towards it. So, you know what I mean? So maybe you were offered two possibilities and you chose to walk away from what no longer serves you and to walk towards something that isn't toxic. Okay? Maybe that's what happened in the recent situation, or maybe, because it is the recent past. Okay? The time frame is somewhere between the 26th of July to the 1st of August. You may have been offered a gift. You may have been given one. Or a situation may have changed. You notice a change in your situation. Okay? Sometime between the 26th of July and the 1st of August. Either you made a decision to walk away from something that was not serving you, was exploiting you, was keeping you in this energy, or someone else did. Or maybe, no, it's past. So that's about the time frame where maybe that occurred. Okay? All right. 10 of hearts. I already know, but we're gonna look it up. 10 of hearts. Why? Because I'm still learning myself. Cardarium is what I'm using. You can look it up yourself. 10 of heart person is intensely aware of the emotional and social connection with the world around them. Okay? Expressive love in all aspects of life. Okay? If you are born on the 10 of hearts day, you're at their best in large social situations. Entertainment. On the stage or in politics, there it is. It is only in your more personal and intimate relationships that the 10 of hearts people become overwhelmed and safe box their feelings. So when you're up on stage and when you're out there in front of people performing, this looks like this is a performer, you're larger than life. You're not afraid. You're comfortable. You're good at socializing and, working the audience, whatever it is. But privately, inside, there's a part of you that closes up and is introverted and shy and afraid of rejection. And you need to guard yourself from isolating yourself from people so important to your well-being, right? So you need to be careful not to isolate too much. It says 10 of hearts people are ambitious and they have penetrating focus. An overwhelming need to be loved and appreciated compels them to be the best at whatever they do. They have a knack for good business and secure the best contracts or conditions for success. They seem to be very lucky, and in part this is true, but it's only after a lot of hard work and determination that divine providence bestows the bounty of earthly treasures onto a worthy person, a worthy 10 of hearts. Matters of the heart, the 10 of hearts feel that there should be at the helm of their relationship, not because they want to dominate, but because they feel better able to protect, heal, or otherwise fortify the home. So that's a 10 of Hearts person. So maybe you'll be offered or were recently offered 2 chances, and one of them came from a 10 of Hearts person, and you chose to walk away from what no longer served you and to move towards that. Okay. So the birthdays for the 10 of Hearts are July 31st, which is a Leo, August 29th, which is a Virgo, September 27th, which is a Libra, October 25th, which is a Scorpio, November 23rd, which is a Sagittarius, and December 21st, which is a Sagittarius or Capricorn. So you either, the person you move towards was one of those signs, born on that date or near those dates, or your decision to walk away from what no longer serves you and towards this opportunity or person occurred on or about that time. And we have confirmation in the 2, because I said earlier, this runs from the 26th of July, right? So it was in July or August that you made a decision to stop working with, entertaining with, or rolling with, either professionally or in a romantic relationship or friendship or whatever, people who do not serve your best interest and who are toxic, and or making you offers that had negative repercussions or strings attached, and you decided instead to walk away from what doesn't serve you and walk towards this opportunity or this person. Okay. And this person, it said that they like to be at the helm of what they do in love relationships, right? Not because they are controlling or toxic, but because it makes it easier for them to pour their love on you, to protect you, to heal. Okay? So it requires that you trust this person, because they are indeed trustworthy. They're not toxic. Okay? So this realization came either in July or August, or occurred in July or August, or the ball got started in July or August, or this is a person or a situation that started or was born in July or August. Okay? End of July, early August. Okay? Most likely. Okay? Okay. So we're going to go to Cardarium again. And I'm sorry that, it's taken me forever, but I am learning as well. Cardarium don't want to come up. Donovan, please lower it. Thank you, baby. It's very weird that Cardarium's not coming up anymore. Somebody doesn't want messaging to come out. This heralds a phase of emotional contentment. Okay? You're moving towards what will be content, or you decided to move towards that somehow. Maybe you're not sure how, but that was a decision you made. Okay. All right. So this is your recent past. I'm gonna pull up the eight of Hearts. The only reason is to see if the old or standard cartomancy or cardology meaning is different from how it was translated later into tarot. And no. The Eight of Hearts is related to success in love and is a positive sign for a fulfilling long-term relationship with the person you love. Your marriage will be happy and free of domestic sorrows and misfortunes. Eight of Hearts indicates great satisfaction with children in a family. Okay. It represents a consultant, good news, good counsel, and success. Okay, it assures the young consulting person that they will get into a long-term relationship with the person that they do love. And that this new family will be free of domestic sorrows and misfortune. To married people, it indicates great satisfaction that will come from their children. To the elderly, it represents a long and happy old age, free of illnesses. To a divorced or widowed person, it means that they will never get married again. However, they can still be in a fulfilling relationship with a companion who cares for them. It's just that the marriage is not in the cards. To a young girl, of woman or women, okay. So it says if you have on the right a heart, if you're a young man, you're gonna marry a very kind young blonde. So hear that, guy? A very kind young blonde. Or if it's for a young girl, you will be married to a charming and honest blonde. You're saying the person is blonde. Okay, light, fair. Okay, okay. There is no left here because of the it's a 5 card. And again, if you had any question about a past decision, a recent past decision, and it was a yes or no question, cards are saying yes. Cards are saying yes. Whatever your question was. Okay, collective. So next, we got. I'm gonna switch. Do direct the switch. Okay, that was recent past. I know I'm already here a long time, and I have a million things to do, and I'm hearing the song. I got 50 things to do, but I'll get back to you. I got 50 things to do, but I'll get back to you. So who is it? Is that Dead Milkman? I forget which punk band that is. If you know, let me know. Okay, so Father God, angels, saints, guides, in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach. The current situation. Oh, I got an Ace of Hearts. Very good card. I got a King of Clubs. They came out together. Thank you, Spirit. Or King of Clubs and an Ace of Hearts. Somebody loves ya. Who's this dude? So it's clubs. Clubs are air. So that's in Aries. I'm getting Aries. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Or is this air? I gotta double check my correspondences. No, they clubs, wands, air. No, fire. Fire sign. Fire. I'm sorry. Fire. I was correct. Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. Fire sign. Woo, suki now. So there is a fire sign who's in love. Yoo-hoo. Male. Okay? So that's a fire sign. This is the current energy of fire sign. Whoa! Did you see that? Did you see that? All kinds of stuff went on. I got three of diamonds. I got 8 of clubs. I got a queen of diamonds. I got a 5 of clubs. I got a 10 of diamonds. There's a lot of financial prosperity going on over here with this. And I got a 10 of clubs. We got 2 10s. We got the 10 of diamonds and the 10 of clubs. And we already have on the spread the 10 of hearts. Amazing. All this fulfillment and ending a completion of cycles and moving into new things. 5 of clubs is a lot of arguing and fighting and nye. It looks like somebody's gonna cut off that noise. Miss Queen of Diamonds, Queen of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Some solid woman. And then we have the 3 of Diamonds. That's sometimes restrictive, but it's a little bit of money, but not as much as you expected. And we got the 8 of clubs. Okay, that's what came out, but we're not going to include it in the reading. I'm just being honest with you and letting you know. Spirit. Now I got the 5 of hearts. Something having to do with the divorce or a divorce. Someone was crying over spilt milk, or is crying over spilt milk. A divorce, a separation, and then we have Two of Hearts, and from that, so someone got divorced, and after the divorce, they're gonna end up in a. Here's the Two of Hearts. That's the relationship. That's the minor arcana, or the Lover's card. So a divorced person is gonna meet somebody. I don't know who this resonates for, but somebody had something to say when I was talking about that wish fulfillment. I went to go turn to them. I said, Suki, Suki. We were talking about this Ace of Hearts, which is amazing, right? Which is the Ace of Cups in tarot. And then we got this King of Clubs. King of Clubs is a very sociable person. He might be a public figure. He might be famous. Usually dark-skinned, olive skin. Beneficent, a mentor energy. Okay, a humanitarian, a lawyer, a professional of some kind, businessman, entrepreneur, you know. Well, usually that's the King of Diamonds, but this, I'll tell you more about him in a minute. Wow. Okay. Spirit, I like to say, when I went Suki Suki now, who's this dude? Like, told me all kinds of stuff is going on here. But I'm going to go back to the structure of the reading. Okay. Woo. Okay, we got our middle card. Let's go. We're grateful. Thank you, spirits, guides, angels, Archangel Michael, our protector. Six of Diamonds wants to come out. There's a restriction on the money. The Spirit is saying there's a reason. There's people around you who are not trustworthy, who are looking to rip you off. And so because of that, Spirit is deliberately making it difficult for you to get money, or making it seem to these people that you are not economically stable, so that they will look for another target. They will look for another person to rip off. Spirit is not going to release the purse strings, is not going to release the abundance until these people get into some kind of tower issue with you and get out of your energy and stop watching what you're doing. So it's a protective thing. So if you feel like your money is blocked, it may not necessarily be blocked because of any work being done on you. It might not be blocked for any negative reason. It might be blocked for a protective reason. Okay, stand up. Doug, gotta hang your clothes up, man. Okay, let me make you some French toast in a minute, okay? Parents. Alright, they're telling me to cut the deck and do it. No more popcorns. No more popcorns, okay? No more popcorns. Up. Out jumped the Nine of Clubs. La la la. I will comment later, because Nine of Clubs can have different meanings. Usually in Carnomancy, it is a good card, and I find it significant that it's right above a Two of Diamonds. Eight of Swords. I'm going to tell you right now, if there was a yes/no question on this row, the answer is probably no, because we have 3 black cards and only 1 red one, even though the red one is very strong. There's deep, strong love going on here, or deep attraction. And then we ended with the Nine of Pentacles, upright. This one was reversed. This one is upright. So the current situation, this also represents the current energy. So either you feel or other people feel that you are not emotionally or financially stable. You don't have abundance. You're not trustworthy. You're a spendthrift. You're a charlatan. You're engaging in fraud, whatever it is. Spirit is saying, let them, let them, let them, let them, because what it's going to do, it's going to weed out people who are only about the money and who are the type of people who do that. Often we assume that people are like us. So if you are a thief and you see somebody, standing around browsing, you're going to assume they're a thief. If you are a fraud or a scammer, you're going to think other people are running a fraud and a scam. If you are somebody who has a generous heart, you're going to assume that the other person has a generous heart and good intentions. Okay? So they're saying let them, because they're projecting the shadows that they have within themselves onto you. Right? And they're doing that to hide what they're doing. So it's like saying, this person is a thief, this person is a thief, this person is a thief, everybody look at that person, everybody look at that person is a thief, that person is a witch. And meanwhile, while everybody's joining you and coming after this person, you're reaching into everybody's pockets, pickpocketing them while they're looking at this person. That's what Spirit is saying is happening. So be grateful for Spirit removing, or you having tower moments or conflicts with people who are not good for you, because that is Spirit stepping in and removing, right, untrustworthy people, betraying people from your energy, okay, as a protective measure. And that if it seems like the purse strings are held up, Spirit is saying that might be to protect you. Okay, so now we're going to look at it again. We're going to start from the middle. 9 of clubs. Nine of clubs is the adventurer's card. Again, travel. We had travel here as well. An offer of travel, a tour, maybe. If you're a musician, you're going to be asked to go on tour. Are you going to be given that opportunity? A small, opportunity. I'm being told olive branch. Maybe this is somebody who doubted you or believed this crap and is now realizing maybe it's not true, and that the issue is that you need support, and they're offering it to you in some way. And that some of it has to do with travel as well. Okay, so we'll see. Independent success. Entrepreneurship, independent success. Whatever is your problem at the moment, stop listening to others. The 9 of clubs gives you a sign that you need to think for yourself. If you follow the crowd, you will get average results. For extraordinary success, you must act on your own. So this energy that's keeping you like this, okay, the third party might be a gossiper, might be a friend who's secretly jealous of you, who doesn't want you to succeed. It might be somebody who you're not happy with in a relationship anymore. It's not working for you, and you're just there for duty's sake, and because as much as you're not happy, you don't want to hurt that person. Maybe you've been together a while, maybe you have kids together, you don't want to hurt people, right? And so you're looking for fulfillment elsewhere, which isn't very nice of you, okay, whatever, do what you feel you need to do. But maybe that third party energy is a nagging spouse who has their healing to do, who's projecting their stuff onto things. Or maybe that person feels the energy that you're not happy and that you want to leave, right? And so they're barring you from meeting people or from advancing in your career, especially if it's a career that causes you to travel, because they're afraid that if they loosen their leash on you, you will leave them. And it's that codependent and insecure. This, again, conjecture, I could be wrong. You know your situation. You know if it applies to you or not. If it resonates, it does. If it doesn't resonate, it isn't for you. It says that you will get results if you stay, but they'll be average. So if you want to advance to a higher vibration, or if you want to advance, you need to think for yourself. You need to stop doubting yourself and going to other people, because the other people that you're going to have a vested interest in keeping you right where you are, and so they're going to talk you down. Or maybe they are very well-grounded people who are just the type of people who feel if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You're fine. Why strive for higher if we're comfortable here? Because they're not the type of people who want to take risks that might result in losing stuff. But sometimes you have to take risks, right, to advance higher. And you know, everything that people do, whether it's relationships or business or anything else, involves a certain level of risk. You know, and sometimes you have to be willing to take those risks in order to do something new or move forward. You know, get out of your rut or earn more money. You might have to invest, you know. So you might have to put up with somebody who gives you a gift, but there's like, attached for a little bit. Or you might have to do something completely revolutionary, say, screw you all, I'm walking on my own, do my own thing, and shock everybody. What? This is a person who, you know, who used to take the safe bet, and now all of a sudden they're taking risk. What happened? You know what I mean? I don't know. So, but this is about independent success, meaning making the decision to go indie and not necessarily follow a traditional way of doing things or following the crowd. Again, Nine of Clubs, isolated means money or success. Now this is a small offer, and maybe that's the only offer the person can give you. This is big. This is not you getting something from somebody else. This is you building your own and it being huge. Okay? It is a perfect omen. It's a very good omen. When it's next to a spade on the right, which is right here, it means that a trial or a court dispute is won. Again, I'm going to remind you, if you have any legal issues, this is for entertainment purposes only. Okay? You should seek the advice of a trained, licensed professional in the legal field. You shouldn't rely on a bunch of cards. But that's the omen. Okay? It says, if on the other side you have a club, very big profits from a business decision that you are uncertain of. So the present energy is that if you walk away from what no longer serves you, you've walked away from what you felt no longer serves you towards this person, and you did it in Leo season, it's saying, or it's a person whose birthday is like in around July 31st, Leo season, right? The beginning of Leo season. Because you did that, you are now in a situation where you're about to make some money. It may not seem that way now, but you're about to do it. And then over here at the end, we have the upright Nine of Pentacles, which is in direct opposite contrast to this energy of perception that we have now of failure. So maybe you haven't received the final you haven't yet received a return on your investment, and because of that, maybe you feel like you're a failure and you're giving up and you're like, screw this, I'm going to stop doing this. And Spirit is saying, don't give up yet, because this is coming. And it's coming somehow through leaving what does not serve you and walking towards this person or situation, which has led you to a love offer or a partnership of some kind. This is a love offer. So maybe it's tied to someone who you end up in a relationship with, who maybe not necessarily their money, because it says independent money, but maybe you end up in a love relationship or a strong friendship with someone who is a king of a celebrity. This is a celebrity. This is a public figure. It could be a politician. It could be a well-known lawyer. It could be a musician, an actor, a model. But it ends up putting you in a love connection or a strong friendship connection with this king of clubs, right? And from that, this king of clubs either mentors you, guides you, or by associating socially, you network or whatever, and that helps you to grow this and to see a return on the work that you've put in, and provides you eventually with stability. Okay? And then it reverses this perception as well. This perception is being deliberately created by people who are sabotaging you. So they sabotage you, and then after they sabotage you, they say, oh, look, this person's a charlatan. When they know that they went behind your back to cause your venture to be unsuccessful and not as profitable as it could have been. So they're instigating problems, right? And then when they get what they've instigated, they're saying, see, this person is this person is that. So it's throwing stones and hiding your hands, and then saying it's this person when you're deliberately trying to sabotage this person's success for whatever reason. And they're saying what's going to happen is by moving away from some of these energies, these people who are pretend friends or just insecure and scared, and suspicious because of their own stuff, it's kind of like a forgive them, Father, they don't know what they're doing type of situation, really. You're going to end up hooking up with, meeting with, working with, possibly eventually being in a love relationship with this king. And this is independent success. Emphasis on independent. So it's not going to be somebody else that you're beholden to, that you have to make deals with, that are going to have strings attached, or where you're going to have to keep up appearances and be miserable in exchange for this little bit, this little gift. Or it's being presented to you as a gift, like they're doing you a favor, when actually we have an expression in Spanish, no vale la pena. It wasn't worth the pain, right? So it's being presented to you as if this is a gift and they're doing you a favor, but meanwhile they're getting more out of this gift than you are, because the emotional pain and the hardship, the amount of work you're putting in is not equaling. It's not adding up. Okay? So you're going to have to move towards someone who's not going to have all those strings attached, and it's going to be a good move. You don't see that yet, but it's coming. This is present energy. So this is recent past energy, and this is present energy. All right? So if there was a legal thing, you're saying trial 1, dispute 1, or if there was a dispute started, or there was a conflict started that was messing with your reputation or whatever it is, you're going to come out on top. Okay? It's saying that if next to it is a club, very big profits from a business decision that you were initially uncertain about. Now, I want to also point out is you don't just have a club, you have the highest club in the deck. The king of clubs. You're going to come out a king. Okay? So to the side of this, you have the highest. It's going to blow up. Okay? Hang in there. Okay? It says also if they have it unless it's a small inheritance. So if that legal matter had to do with an inheritance, okay, probate, money due to you, it's going to turn out favorable. The cards are saying. Now, again, I'm going to remind you again, talk to a legal or financial professional. Don't rely on a tarot reading. Okay? This is for entertainment purposes only. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. An inflow of money and success. Same. Inflow of money and success. The time is the present. Again, present energy. The present energy. That's what's happening. That's what's building right now. The advice that is associated with it. Make an independent decision on what's best for you and do not listen to others. Listen to your intuition. What does your heart say? Don't worry about if it makes sense or if it's crazy to other people. What does your heart say you should do? Okay? You have to have self-confidence instead of self-doubt. And know that you've been around the block a few times, and you know how to make decisions for yourself. You don't need a crew of people telling you what to do all the time. You don't need babysitters. You're grown. Okay? Disregard the counsel of others. Disregard the shit that you're hearing. Disregard the gossip. Disregard the hearsay. Disregard the backbiting. And do what your heart is telling you. And go by what you see and are experiencing, not by what you hear. Okay? It says, if it's influenced by the like suit, several persons or circumstances are trying to oppose or be slick about opposing. So there's somebody, maybe it's somebody you're in a love relationship with who's trying to say, you know, no, don't do this. And that person is wrong. It says, if it's by a spade, beware so that you don't assume greater responsibility that can be easily carried. So don't take on more than you can chew. But even though success is coming, don't take on more than you should or you know you can. It also represents a gift. See, and that's what I saw. Like, this represents a gift, this represents a gift. You have two of them. One in recent past, maybe two gifts or two opportunities offered to you, and you chose the one that you felt was for your highest good, and now there's another one coming in. Okay? And it talks about inheritance or birth of a child or inheritance or money having to do with your kids. So do you have a case having to do with child support? or money coming in that has to do with your children? You're going to receive it and it's going to help you, you know, and your family, right? Because this one is, remember it also said happiness having to do with your children, your family. So if you were worried or you were staying in a situation for the kids, they're going to be all right, man. They're going to be okay. Okay? It also prevents resistance and strength in opposition. Because it shows in the tarot when Nine of Wands later became, or Nine of Clubs later became Nine of Wands, and it became the tarot. It's a man with 8 wands behind him for 8 people he just conquered, right? Had to fight against. And he's standing there and is all bandaged up and sweaty and messed up like he's been through some serious battle, and he's holding the 9th one, the staff, in his hand, his weapon. And he's standing there guarding, waiting. So it's like, and is that all you got kind of thing? Like, I just whipped the asses of these 8 people and I'm still here standing, you know? So it talks about strength in opposition, overcoming obstacles, overcoming adversity, and overcoming calamity. Now, we started with being worried, being scared. And when this translates to the 9 of Swords in the tarot, if you were to look at the artwork on the Rider-Waite, it's a person sitting up, crying, anxious, unable to sleep. But every single one of the swords that they're worried about is hanging on a wall, not even moving towards them, not even touching them. So you're divinely protected, and you need to come out of your energy of being afraid to be like that you're under attack and that nobody's in your corner. Okay? And you're able to overcome it. You're going to come out again on top. Okay? You're divinely protected. So there's that. And then the dates for the 9 of Clubs is the 11th to the 17th of October. So this either recently occurred sometime between the 11th to the 17th of October, or it's not going, because this is not future, this is present. So it either just occurred on the 11th to the 17th of October, or you have a goal to have to be at a certain spot by the 11th to the 17th of October, or this gift is going to come between the 11th and 17th of October, or the person that's influencing it is going to happen between the 11th to 17th of October. And I'm laughing because I think it's for me, because my divorce papers came through on the 15th of October of last year. But so maybe it's for me, maybe it's not. But the 11th to the 17th of October, I believe, is Libra, right? If I'm not mistaken. Okay. I'm gonna ask for clarification on this King of Clubs in a bit, especially because it's coming with some really strong and ace love energy. Okay, we're gonna go back to this one. The next one, eight of swords. Eight of spades actually translates to eight of swords. Eights can follow God's plan, but are not bound about it. It is a card of overcoming and control in your health and in your work. It has to do with being restless and impatient, having a variety of friends, okay, mastery of your mind. An eight of spades person is a powerful thinker or a rebel that helps shape the shifting paradigm of the times. By trusting your intuition, you're not going to blow up. You're going to make changes. And it's going to be about being an innovative thinker, being effective in your labor and in your work. It's an extremely powerful card, and it's the Eight of Eights. I want to remind you, eights are the number of abundance, and you have two of them here. Nines are the number of completion. So what happens is you get to 9, you've completed, and then the next one comes, which is the 10, which is the new beginning. Okay, so you're right on the precipice of a new beginning. And I want to point out that you have the 9 of diamonds, also the 9 of pentacles, right? So reversed, positive and negative becomes neutral. So whatever's going on here to mess with your abundance is going to be neutralized. Then you also have the 9 of clubs, and then you have the 9 of swords. So you have almost every 9 in the deck. Okay, so we're going to look at what 9s mean, but I want to see what the next row is. Okay, so the 8 of spades means that you are an attentive strategist with ambitious plans for yourself. So if you don't think that you have the chops, you're wrong. Spirit is telling me you have the chops. Rah, rah, go do it. Okay, you're divinely protected. You're a hard worker. You love what you do. And you have the ability to be successful in this venture and this goal for yourself. Irrespective of this, you're going to overcome all of this. You have the ability to overcome it. Okay? You have to be focused on your will, your intention, and you're going to manifest it. It's also a warning that while you're working to do this, you need to guard your health, because it's also a card in the old bicycle decks or whatever of illness. It's the illness card. Okay, it's an omen for infections. Okay, an illness is coming your way. Take care of your health. If you have a problem with addiction, handle it. Take care of it. Okay, take care of your health. Don't get so bent out of shape, and don't be so driven that you stop with self-care. Okay, because that'll be something that interferes. Okay, so it says that when it is here, right, and you have a diamond next to it, there's discord with business partners. There's people who are going to not like what you're doing and to try to fight you on it, right? But you're going to be all right. Okay? Read the fine print in the contract carefully. Don't sign nothing that you're not sure about. Let's see. Next to a club. If on the right, this is my right, a diamond. Yeah, be careful in your business dealings. There are people in your corner who you think are down with you, who do not have your best interests at heart. Okay? So read the fine print and be wary. Be wary. You might be surprised who the Judas is. Okay? And then it says, if it's on the left and it has a club, you may experience monetary losses. Okay? So you can experience monetary losses, right? Because you were offered a deal that was maybe too good to be true and you didn't heed it. You didn't read the fine print. You didn't, you jumped in too quickly. And that's because you didn't listen to your intuition and you let somebody else influence you. So there's a possibility that is what is going on now. Someone's offering you some kind of a deal. You're being advised that they're offering you this deal because they are aware or because it is connected to some kind of victory in court, and they think you're going to come into money, and so they're coming in here, right, with some deal because they're looking to rip you off. Think you're going to have or you're going to get something, or you're going to get something and you've expressed an interest in perhaps investing it in a business or something else. Okay, they're telling you to be wary of that. They're also telling you, as you go to reach your goals and work towards your goals, guard your health, especially if you have issues with addiction. Please, because that's going to be used to get you to agree to stuff. Make sure you're clear-headed. If you need help, please speak to a medical professional, someone who can assist you with that issue. Okay? Please. We love you. We want you to be okay. The Spirit loves you. You deserve to be okay. So it says you could experience some monetary losses, or you just experience a monetary loss, because this is present energy. Maybe experience that monetary loss sometime in that October 11th to 17th. Okay? Or there's a debt that came up because of that, and it's affecting you. All right? But the end card, so this negative stuff, which that's not necessarily negative, but this stuff of concern is flanked on this side by a very strong cards, which is the Ace of Hearts and the Nine of Pentacles. So stability, We also have in cartomancy, we look at elements. Certain elements cancel each other out. I'll be looking at in a minute. So we have water, fire, air, and earth. I'm going to figure out which ones cancel each other out and which ones do not to get an idea more of what's going on currently. And I'm going to put now future. I'm sorry this is taking so long. I know I have stuff to do and it's already taking some time, so I'm going to try to hurry it up. But I don't want to give you a half-ass reading. And especially if you're a reader and you're trying to do bicycle cards, or as some people call it, or like the regular deck, okay? It is different from tarot. Tarot derives from this. Tarot came later, okay? This is focused more on numerology, astrology, mathematics, okay? Whereas the tarot is very Kabbalic, and it was actually formed to help people who were practitioners of Kabbalah or Judaism, or Kabbalah specifically, be able to learn Kabbalah absent persecution, because it was, we're just playing a card game. Epa! So two jumped out when I was shuffling. I'm going to grab them. Spirit says to take them. We have the 5 of diamonds. And we have the 7 of spades. This represents vicious gossip. Okay? It also has to do with addictions. Look at the source of where your stuff is coming from. Like, if somebody is high on drugs and saying crazy stuff, think about that. Should you listen to that person? If this person has a history of doing a whole mess of dishonest things, and every time you look into their stuff, it's not entirely accurate. I mean, should you really be listening to this person when they're talking about somebody else, or they're giving you advice on what to do? Look at the source of your information. Really, look at the source. Stop just blindly listening to whatever the hell you hear. That's what's coming out. It's the energy I'm getting. Whoever it is, they're gonna have to call me back. I'm not picking stuff up when I'm in the middle of reading. Okay? It's just like I don't. expect, to run in and tap people on the shoulder when you're at mass and leave in the middle of the Lord's Prayer. Okay? So, whoever that is, they gotta wait. So this is Epa, the seven of spades, which I'm not happy about. But we'll see. Because it all depends on what the surrounding cards say. So a couple more times the same. A couple more times. That was not a good shuffle. Okay. I didn't like that shuffle either. Can we get a shuffle? Okay, angel, spirits, guide, in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, please help me get through the rest of this reading. Whatever resonates with people, I asked you earlier, Spirit, give me information, specific information, so that people know it's for them, and it's not coming from me. Okay? The Jack of Hearts, boyfriend, lover, seducer. King of Diamonds, Bidnet man. I mentioned the King of Diamonds earlier, and here he is. And Ace of Spades, reversed. Whoosha. Future. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. You know what? Five of Diamonds was translated into tarot to the Five of Pentacles, which involves two people who think that they're impoverished or whatever it is, walking past the church and not realizing that if they turn their head in a different direction, they'll be led to the light inside of that church building where there is help for them with their hardships. Maybe there's food, maybe there's clothing, maybe there's a place to stay, but they're so focused on their hardships, they're not really looking at the solution that is right next to them. Okay? It means something a little different in this. So we'll deal with that. Seven of Spades, I already said I'm not happy about. The Jack of Hearts, boyfriend. And I'm getting the song, girlfriend, I'm gonna tell your boyfriend, yeah, what you've been doing. So that's a Michael Jackson song from way back that I haven't thought of in ages. And remember, we had this energy right here where it said it was a female stepping out. It wasn't the male stepping out of the relationship, it was a female. I don't know what to tell you. And a person don't want to stay, but they feel they have to. So I don't know. But okay, so then somebody, I'm gonna tell them what you've been doing. Pretty interesting. Okay, and it's right above these cards that represent a gift, financial security or gifts. And then over here we have our King of Diamonds, our businessman, our shrewd businessman, who's taking no prisoners. A blonde person. See, it's diamonds, so it would be a Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. This is a water sign. Scorpio. I'm getting strong feeling a Scorpio. Cancer, Pisces. Okay. Let's see what we got. We're going to go to the Ace of... No, I'm not. I'm being drawn to that ace. I'm going to deal with... We have two aces. We have an Ace of Hearts, Giant Cup of Love, being offered to you at this moment. And then we have the reverse Ace of Spades. That's not always good. Okay? And that Ace of Spades, reverse Ace of Spades, is connected to this king. They're both connected to kings. And this is connected to this king. Maybe Spirit is telling you who's in your corner and who's not. Okay? Let's see. We have the Jack of Hearts. Okay. Now, the Jack of Hearts is an honest young person who's honest young man in love, attractive, nice, generous, wants to be kind and nurturing and protective of you, wants to give to you. It usually announces a new intimate friendship or relationship. As a lover, the Jack of Hearts is often away, may travel a lot, but he is committed and sincere and would make good marriage material. This is your lover, your lover boy. Whoosha. And I'm getting that song. I'm gonna be your lover, lover, lover boy. He's usually light, blonde. Okay. Usually unmarried, usually young, maybe younger than you. Suki now. This represents your lover. If you're married, it represents a sincere, kind, skillful, beneficent, brave, and well-mannered close friend or friend of the family. Okay? If it has on the right a diamond, joy in the city, visit of a child from out of town, be visited by a relative, a kid, maybe a kid you didn't know you had. Is there a kid, a son that you didn't know you had? Or you're learning you had, or maybe you haven't had contact with them in a long time, you're going to resume finally contact, and it's like a big deal. They're going to come from wherever they're staying to your city, to your area, and you're happy about this. I don't know, I'm just repeating what I'm getting. So it's a Jack of Hearts. This is an honest person. It's a good person. It's a good man. Okay. The diamond to the right, joy in the city. Okay. And to the left, a spade. It's a young man who's sad that he can't win you over. So this is somebody who wants to be with you, is attracted to you, who's sad that you didn't choose him or aren't choosing him, or he can't win you over. He wants to court you, he wants to woo you, he wants to love you, and you're not coming towards him. Or maybe, yeah, I don't know what else to say. Or maybe you're that Jack, you know? Okay, we'll see. So what's the story over here with our I found it interesting that the Jack is associated with the king. This is a father figure, maybe, uncle. Sometimes it's a best friend. Okay. Someone of wealth or social position. Again, fame. These are public figures. Um, okay. A visit. Somebody's going to come see you, visit you, spend time with you. Or he's going to come spend time with you. He wants to be with you. He wants to see you. Like, even if you don't want to be with him and you didn't choose him, he wants you in your life and he wants to see you. He wants to still be able to spend time with you and talk with you and be with you, even if it's just friends. News, message. Someone who wants to be of service to you, help you. Personally, he wants to support you, and also in your endeavors. He wants to help you. He wants to be a ally to you, confidant, a co-collaborator. As a birth card, this represents the 24th to the 30th of May. So there's an event coming up on the 24th to 30th of May that he wants to work with you on and support you in. And he's sad that you're not letting him. Somebody's reading my emails. Or there is that's the person's birthday, the 24th to the 30th of May. Let's see, which 24th to 30th is that Taurus or is it Cancer? I think it's Taurus. Okay, I don't know. Or it could be a water sign, like I said, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. I'm getting either Scorpio and Cancer. Okay. People are laughing. Because they're seeing the correspondences I'm seeing. Okay, but anyway, let's go. All right. I want to see what's up with this. I'm gonna see what's up with the Seven of Spades. I'm gonna stop. I'm not happy about the Seven of Spades. Seven of Spades is really not nice. Is the disconnect between the physical worlds, intuition. So sometimes your intuition is not correct and people are projecting their stuff on you. Yep. And by projecting stuff, it's causing you to make impulsive or wrong decisions about someone or about a situation. What you see is not all there is. Okay? Words can often hurt and be misunderstood and taken the wrong way, and people can run with them and overthink and project all kinds of stuff onto a situation that isn't there. So you have to make sure that you're coming from an honest place when discussing your feelings, because you may inadvertently hurt somebody you care about and they may take you the wrong way. Okay? Someone is afraid to be upfront and needs to be, or maybe the fact that you're upfront intimidates someone and causes them to pull back their energy when you're not meaning to hurt them in any way. You just, if anything, you respect them because you're trying to be upfront and be honest and be real. Okay, so in tarot, the Seven of Swords is a dishonest and deceitful energy, but in this, it's not. It's just bad advice that's given to someone. It's not that someone is straight up lying to this person. The person means well, which is even worse, but it's just bad advice. It sheds light on the bad advice that people give to other people because it's based on their own projecting their own stuff onto the situation that may not be accurate. Okay? Try to talk to the person and get to the root of what's going on. Don't let. Okay, so if somebody says, something to you in a text, in an email, on a phone call, during a conversation, and it rubs you the wrong way, okay, do not go to your friend. Do not go to someone else and say, what do you think he meant by that? Or what do you think she meant by that? Okay, because that person is going to dig into their own stuff and their own experience. It's just going to complicate matters. Go back to that person and ask them, what did you mean by that? And that hurt my feelings. Have the courage to do that. And they may say, oh my God, I'm so sorry that, the way that I said it or whatever made you feel that way. This is where I'm coming from. And believe them. Give the people that you say you love so much the benefit of doubt. Especially if there's no concrete evidence to suggest that they would harm you. Okay? So there's bad advice, and it's not necessarily being done in malice. It's done, because of confusion, maybe gossip, maybe misinterpretation of someone, misinterpreting their intentions, And the way to end that is to simply talk to each other. And stop assuming. Okay? Assume good intentions. Alright? Ask if you want more evidence, if you want paperwork, if you want proof. It might hurt the person's feelings, but if they care about you and they want to resolve the problem, they'll show it to you. So that you are reassured that, you're being dealt with honestly and righteously, It shows loss, grief, heartbreak. You hurt somebody's feelings, maybe without meaning to. Right? Or your feelings are hurt and the person didn't mean to hurt you. This is also an addiction card. Intoxication of spirits, drugs, and alcohol. Did you say something when you were high or drunk that hurt somebody? Or was someone saying things or sending you messaging and at the time you were high or drunk and you took it the wrong way? because your head wasn't clear. You weren't in a clear headspace. Okay? Make sure that the decisions you make clean and sober and straight. Okay? And that you have the facts in front of you and mind the fine print. Okay? Be willing to be honest with yourself about how you might project things onto others, or how maybe you might misinterpret it, or how maybe you could have said something differently on the other side of it. Okay? It says the Seven of Spades is certainty. Whatever we've learned in a card reading the Seven of Spades confirms that it is true. It is a sign that the predictions of the other cards were not an accident and that you should take them seriously. The Seven of Spades announces an argument or a quarrel. Sometimes you gotta argue and get out what you have to say in order to get to a space where you resolve the problem. And sometimes people are so afraid of conflict that they just keep stuff to themselves. But what it only does is it festers. It doesn't make things better. So it says Seven of Spade, right? With a heart, unimportant intrigue. Okay? So someone making a big deal out of something that's probably nothing. Okay? Next to a diamond, a small inconvenience. So this thing that hurt people's feelings or this miscommunication is not as big a deal as we think it's going to be. And so it's important that we talk to each other and work it out, because it's easily worked out. This is saying that it's easily worked out. There's going to be a quarrel. There's going to be an issue. There's going to be a... Yeah, you're going to work it out. You're going to maybe quarrel, have a little fight, but it's one of those things like, oh, it's their first fight and they, resolved it. And then the relationship is going to be stronger. The friendship, the love energy is going to be stronger, and it's going to make what you're doing with one another more successful and more solid. Okay? So this is one of those quarrels that isn't a toxic quarrel that you should be afraid of. This is one of those arguments or quarrels that is two people who deeply care about each other and respect each other getting some clarity on where the situation stands and saying, listening to each other, even if at first it's yelling, like sitting down and working it out, because both of them really care about each other and respect each other enough. Whether it's a business partner, lover, whatever, they care about each other enough that they want to work it out. So there's going to be a mad at you, whatever, but it's going to clear the air, and it's going to end up on a positive, and it's going to strengthen the relationship. Just be careful that when you have that conversation and you have it out with this person, first of all, everybody's sober, okay? And everybody is minding their words and not saying things like that are weapons to deliberately hurt each other, but really working towards, look, this is how I feel, and I need to be heard, and I'm willing to hear you, and then we're going to sit down and we're going to have a resolution. And if you do that, it's going to be a much stronger situation. This person is very hurt. They feel rejected. They feel forgotten about. They feel that you pulled away from them wrongfully. They're upset. You know what I'm saying? They may be taking decisions that you're making the wrong way. They may be thinking it's coming from you having a low opinion of them, when really it might be a high opinion and a desire to protect them and show them love. So there's a conversation that needs to happen. Okay? Sometimes this represents loss of a friend, someone passing away. Okay? Grief. All right? Somebody's going to ask somebody to maybe be in a relationship with them or marry them. The person's going to say no, and it's going to hurt. That could also, or did do that and they're hurt. Or maybe this person was into you and didn't have the wherewithal to tell you or talk to you, and you found someone else and they're upset. A quarrel, a fight, an argument. Uh, you your attempt to come towards somebody who you're interested in is too late. They're with somebody, you're upset, and you've been hollering about it, or there's been fighting because maybe you're misdirecting your anger at someone else, which isn't cool because you're upset about the situation. Let's see, sharp quarrel, yeah. If it's by like suit, so it's not by like suit, but if it's by heart, the person arrives too late for a certain good or pleasure to happen. Someone feels like they realize too late how how beneficial it would be to have this person in their life or in their love life, and they feel, it's too late. There's nothing I could do. Don't assume that. Have the conversation. Don't be afraid. Um, or there was a fight and you're afraid that it's going to end the situation, and maybe it won't, or maybe it will, but maybe that's for the best. I don't know. It's a risk that's not welcome. You don't want to risk losing this person by having it out with them. So you're not speaking your mind, you're holding your tongue, but that might not be the best way to do it. Or this already happened. You had a falling out or you had a quarrel with someone sometime between the 18th to the 24th of October, around that time, which I think is either Libra or Scorpio season. Or Scorpio, yeah. And you said some things that were very hurtful, and it damaged the friendship, damaged the trust, and you couldn't bring yourself to have a conversation to say that you were sorry, and you have been mulling over doing that, but you haven't brought yourself to a space to do that, and now that person seems to have moved on, and part of the reason they've moved on away from you is because of the trust issue that is now there, because something you said deeply hurt them, and because of it they stopped trusting you, and now you feel like crap, and you feel like you should have, months have gone by and you didn't resolve that, and maybe you should have, but now you're not even sure that if you tried it would make a difference. It makes a difference. Please move towards that person. It matters, even if it's to get closure for yourself. Okay, forgive yourself for the times you've hurt yourself and others as well, because we're all human and we all do it. We hurt the ones we love all the time. Okay, so there's that. Or maybe this person is born the 18th to 24th of October and is a Scorpio, Scorpio energy. You may have a Scorpio somewhere in your chart, whether it's your moon, your ascendant, your Venus. Okay? All right. Let's see what the story is with this King of Diamonds, and then I'm gonna do some other stuff, and then we're gonna be done. Okay, this could be for one person in the collective, it could be for a lot of people, it could resonate with people, A strong, mature, well-grounded male figure associated with financial stability, worldly success, and a very practical, no-nonsense approach to life. A shrewd businessman who executes deals, runs companies, and grows wealth with very good decisions. A good negotiator. He is cunning. He is fearless in his decision making. But he can also get too hot-headed when things don't go his way and do things that sabotage his own success. Okay? And then the question is, does he have the balls to, apologize and repair things? Or is he going to sit in that, haughty energy? So it says, yeah, he's going to sit in the haughty energy. Haughty, fearsome, deceitful, quick to anger, determined, vengeful. It also represents a man in a dangerous occupation. A fireman, a policeman, a soldier. In spite of his flaws, many women find the King of Diamonds very attractive. Okay? A man in a dangerous profession, a dangerous occupation. Policeman, firefighter, roof tiler, aircraft pilot. Uh, you may get an offer from a man who is in a dangerous occupation, or, you know, is self-important, is a narcissist, essentially a narcissistic person. Um, and is a narcissistic person, and you need to be careful. Okay? It says the meanings of the card depend mostly on the surrounding ones. So next to it is a spade on the right, naughty, quarrelsome, somebody you should be wary of. Okay? Then on the other side, though, is a serious suitor. If the person is old or married, they're a loving and honest person. He might make you a serious offer and you're like not sure what to do, because maybe you've had issues with this person. You know? And also travel, a visit from someone from out of your town. Upcoming trip. We're also talking about, is a trip, a tour, a trip. Somebody coming towards you from out of town or from another country. It's a fair person. It might be a military person. Successful. He doesn't just make offers unless there's something in it for him. Know that. Read the fine print again. He's sensitive and easily moved in his mood. If it's by a heart, he has humane traits, but something about this Jack tempers him. Maybe this Jack is his son, and it tempers him. A soldier, especially a veteran, business professional, a veteran. I know who this is in my own stuff. I know exactly who this is. Okay. This is a person who might come to you and offer an apology, but it's only half sincere. Like, part of them is like, okay, I did fuck up, I could have done this better. But the other half is, this is making me look bad and it's interfering with my business, and so I need to make nice with this person. And it's telling you to be careful. Be very careful of going back to working with this person. They're going to try to come to you and make you an offer, because people are hearing about what went down, okay? And he's not looking good, and it's affecting him. So he's going to try to make nice with you. It is not entirely sincere. Beware. Read the fine print, and remember to move towards what actually serves your highest good. 2nd to 8th of August. So whatever the incident or quarrel or issue was happened between the 2nd to 8th of August, or this person was born on the 2nd to 8th of August and is a Leo. Even though the Pentacles are Earth sign. So he might be an Earth sign with Leo somewhere in there, or he might be Leo with Earth sign somewhere significantly in the house of his natal chart that deals with money, finance, business, partnerships. Okay? So you might get an apology. I already know who this is for. I know who this is for. You might get this water sign. Listen carefully, because I know who watches my page. I'm not. This water sign, this Jack, this lover boy, this player right here. He's not really a player. He's a player, but when he finds somebody, he is loyal. Okay? Loyal to a fault. Okay, where's his heart on his sleeve? Plus his heart. Okay, there was a conflict sometime in August. Okay, between the 2nd and the 8th. Between this person and this King of Diamonds. Okay, I already know who it is. And the King of Diamonds was a little too harsh, or didn't listen, or was wrong, or was quick to lash out without finding out all the facts. because he was somewhat emotionally invested, something he will never admit. And he's not ever good at admitting he's wrong either. Okay? He either leans towards narcissism or whatever. He's got a huge ego. Okay? So he has refused to apologize for his error, okay, to this Jack that he harmed. All right? And that is not boding well for him, because people are finding out some of the details, and they're finding out that this person lied to save face. All right? He felt he was justified in it because he felt that he was in the right, and this person needed to quote unquote learn a lesson or whatever, right? He's finding out that maybe his sources of information were not accurate, and that he should have listened, and he should have taken pause. Okay? That perhaps he overreacted, perhaps he wasn't level-headed, maybe he was drunk, maybe he was dealing with an addiction problem, maybe he was dealing with a relationship, he was dealing with some personal stuff as well. Okay? And it's not boding well for him. Okay? It's impacting him professionally, his money, his rep, and he's going to try to apologize to, or make nice, or make an offer to this Jack. Right? But mostly the reason he's doing it is to salvage his popular image. Right? And then he's probably going to try to convince this Jack to go against somebody else. Okay? And we're going to find out who's loyal and who's not. But this is the immediate future coming up. It's going to try to make nice, or make it appear that something is squashed when really it isn't. When really it isn't. He's also actively placed this person in a place of financial hardship, where this person may feel they may not have a choice but to go back to working him, even though he's like, I'm not convinced this is real, because he's got to put food on the table. Okay, it's a trap, so be careful. And how do I know that? This one right here. I'm going to tell you. Hold on. Reverse Ace of Spades, right? Now, people get very nervous when they see an Ace of Spades, because everyone says that's a death card. It's not. Okay? The reverse Ace of Spades is a negative manifestation of the Ace's qualities. Powerlessness, a lack of control, feeling overwhelmed, having an inability to move forward. It may indicate a new beginning that feels forced or unwanted, a lack of clarity regarding the situation. It can represent death or a loss of power. It also represents new potential. So it's going to be brought to you as if it's a new beginning or a new potential. But the new beginning is not as beneficial as it seems. It feels like it's forced. You have no choice but to take the offer because you're, economically in a certain position, or the way that the person's going to frame it is, oh, I went to apologize and this dude is still holding on to it, to try to put you in the wrong for not accepting a bullshit offer that he's full of crap and he doesn't really mean it. And it's probably a trap to get you later underhandedly when nobody's looking, but if you don't take the offer, it's also going to be used like, oh, look, I apologize, and the person's still going on and on. Okay? So just be aware of it. It also signifies a lack of control over a situation, a feeling of powerlessness. It's a negative expression of power, intimidation, or overwhelming people. A lack of clarity, the inability to see the true nature of a situation, leading to uncertainty, creating confusion, trying to confuse you, trying to get in your head, trying to say, oh, that person manipulated you and manipulated me, and, you shouldn't have listened to her or him. That person's the real culprit. Right? All right. So there's going to be an attempt, after not really talking to this Jack for a long time, to reach out to him and try to play like he's going to squash it, and you know what I mean? And then the two of you team up on somebody who didn't harm you and was righteous. So that's coming up. Okay? When they're done doing that, they're going to turn on you again. but they're going to do it in a more underhanded way, so you can't it can't mess up their rep. Be aware of that. Okay. Again, be aware of any alcohol or other issues you might have. Be on your toes. Don't negotiate with, talk with, or deal with this person if you don't have your wits about you. I'm going to go to the 5 of diamonds because we never did that, and I'm going to clarify. I already told you what the tarot meeting was. Okay. So in cartomancy. Okay. Family business. Provides guidance. Okay. Be careful of getting into business with your own family. Be careful of who you get into business with. Anything that seems too good to be true, it probably is. There's no such thing as easy money. Ask a lot of questions, do research, read the fine print. Make sure that you have your wits about you. You're sober, you're clear on what you're saying, you're clear, whatever the conversation is that you're having. You're being careful what you say and how you say it. You may be thinking of inviting a family member into a business endeavor you are working on, but know this, the problems you would have with a friend or a stranger are the same you would have with a member of the family. Because your family is familiar with you, they may not be serious about working while you are, which can cause conflict and brokenness. Be sure to have very clear and open discussions about what exactly is expected and hold people to account. If you do not treat this seriously, you will fail. It will be a problem. Okay? Your game in life is to innovate what matters most. You need to refresh and revitalize what is truly important to you. The 5 of diamonds represents a reconciliation. Okay? It's a sign that your difficulties and misfortunes shouldn't ruin your love and your relationship is not beyond repair. That's what I was saying before. Have that conversation and clear the air, because someone else is going to come and try to use that hurt to manipulate you into something that may turn out to be detrimental to you. Okay? It also represents a gift. We have all of this gift energy. Someone's going to give you a gift or offer you something, a personal ornament, maybe a charm, maybe a necklace, maybe a ring. Oh, haha. A gift, a friendship ring, a bracelet. I'm seeing a friendship ring. It says if it's by a heart, there's a gift to be made. Someone wants to give to you. Okay? Someone wants to give to you. There's a heart nearby. Okay? And maybe you're reading them the wrong way, or they feel that you are, or they're hurt that you won't accept their help because of maybe there's a trust issue, like I said. There's a disappointment to somebody close to you. Someone's disappointed in you, or they're disappointed, they're hurt. They don't understand the reason why you made a decision you did, and they're taking it very personal. Maybe it's not meant that way. Things will turn out well by chance. There might be material trouble, but you'll get past it. Health, wealth, and happiness is coming. And it says the 20th to the 26th of September. Now, this is the future. This line is the future. So by the 20th to the 26th of September, there should be a resolution, or something is set to happen, or maybe there's a wedding date, engagement, wedding date, 20th to 26th of December. See, what sign is the 20th to the 26th of December? What sign? Let me check. I'm not so, I should know all this by heart. I've been doing this for so damn long. I'm going by the Western Zodiac, so The 20 to the 26th of September is either a Virgo or a Libra, or in Virgo or Libra season, or a Virgo or Libra. Now, when I say Virgo or Libra season, also look at the positions of the moon, whether the moon is in Virgo, the moon is in Libra. I think the moon right now is in Taurus. Yeah, moon is in Taurus, and it's going forward, or is it going back? Let's take a look. I'm going to ask, when will the moon be? I don't know why I'm being told to check the moon. Be in Libra. Yeah, so April 12th, the moon is currently in Libra. So this future is starting now. It's starting now. The full moon in Libra began on April 12th at 8:22, and it's known as the pink full moon. And it's to nurture the balance within you. Consciousness. Okay? Nurture the balance within you. Where have you been pushing too hard? Where have you been too soft? How have we been balancing things that deplete us versus the things that recharge us? The pink moon is a healing reminder to come back to your center, ground your energy, and stay open to possibilities. It arrives during the eclipse portal. It's connected to the Aries solar eclipse. Okay? Process the emotions behind whatever took place and purge what we no longer need to carry. Walk away from what no longer serves you. Let go of things that are small. Remember, it said it was a small thing. This can be resolved. There's no take a look at your wounds and try to fix them. Work on healing self so that you don't project your stuff onto other people. Also, the Libra full moon comes when Venus stops being in retrograde. So Venus was in retrograde before, and all of this old toxic stuff that needed to be looked at or whatever came rolling back into everybody's life. Venus is now no longer, I don't think, in retrograde. I think she stops being in retrograde soon. Yeah, Venus stops being in retrograde. So Venus is moving forward. So we're going to have clarity on our love relationships, our friendships. Okay? Now is the time to heal stuff. Okay? It's the rebirth of the heart. Examining things that might have happened or things that were said and saying, well, what can be repaired or what shouldn't be repaired. What was I right to walk away from? What was I wrong to walk away from? You know, stuff like that. But be careful, because there's somebody who's going to take advantage of that. This person is not a trustworthy person. This person has an ulterior motive. Okay? Remember, that ace is reversed. It's a misuse of power. So be careful. Alright? Also, we're in Mars. Okay? So, let's see what else. Yeah, so it's from March 13th forward to now. There's been some changes. There's been some reflection. Okay, when will the moon no longer be in Libra? Yeah, so this just happened. This just past April 13th. So this is where we're at, and be careful. Opposition to Sun and Chiron. Chiron being in Aries. Chiron is in Aries in my chart. So, oh boy, Papa energy. Father wounds. There's father wounds that need to be healed. Father wounds. Okay? Father wounds. So, this person was a mentor. Someone you looked up to. almost like a father figure, but he's an abusive father figure. He's a toxic father figure. And maybe we have a thing where we wanted to fix that person. Why doesn't daddy love me? Why can't he love me? And so we kept going back to a toxic situation. And it's not necessarily a toxic situation in love. It could be in friendship. It could be in business even. Because remember, I said earlier, sometimes we bring our stuff because we don't know any other way, even into our business relationships. Like I gave the example of a guy who's never been in anything but a toxic relationship with women. And so then he goes to work and he has to deal with the woman and you don't know how to deal with her in a professional way because he's never had to do that. So now he's dealing with the woman the way he deals with his wife or his toxic ex-girlfriend, and that's not appropriate. It doesn't apply. He doesn't know any other way. And then he wonders why this chick is pissed at him, and there's no resolution because he's seeing things through the lens that he has. You know what I mean? Well, it's the same thing. There's a father wound. There's a father wound here. This person knows that there's a father wound and is going to take full advantage of it. So be careful. Again, read the fine print because this is what could mess up this, as well as not taking care of your health. So if you have an addiction problem, and it could be anything, addiction not necessarily to drugs or alcohol, addiction to work, addiction to the need for people to like you, people pleasing addiction, sex addiction, love addiction, work addiction, whatever, food. Every time you're upset, you grab some chocolate. I don't. I just do it anytime. But you know what I mean? Whatever like don't, be aware of that and make sure that you are taking care of your health, your spiritual health, your physical health, so that when this offer comes, you can see clearly, make a clear decision that is for your highest good. It does say there's probably going to be a reconciliation, or desires a reconciliation. Or maybe this person thinks that there's no reconciling with you, and because of that, they're going to move towards this energy. And maybe what they need to do is have that conversation with you. Otherwise, they're going to end up veering towards an energy that's based in that father wound or that parent wound, that shadow work that hurt, and then they'll do something to maybe hurt themselves or other people. Maybe they're drinking over it, and when they just need to have a conversation with you, and they're afraid to because they're afraid we're gonna argue more, and it's gonna be so. Maybe they need to have that conversation. Otherwise, they're gonna fall into this trap, and this trap here. Okay, your health is the most important, one of the most important things you have. Okay, so guard it, and not just your physical health, your spiritual health, your mental health. That's the advice of the cards. We have correspondences. Hold on. I'm going to check my Golden Dawn. Thank you, Alistair Crowley, which correlate with the Sephiroth and the Tree of Life. Okay, this gets deep, and yes, I go that deep. I'm not interested in that. Thank you very much. They're going through all the signs: water, fire, yes. I want to know which ones are anemic to what, because I always forget that. Which one is anemic to what? This is alchemy and all kinds of stuff. I don't want to look at the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Here you go. The temperaments, etc. Yeah, I already know. Sigils. Enochian sigils. You don't understand what I'm saying, but I do. Okay. Earth, air, fire, water. Yes, we know. Here it is. The elemental dignities. Okay. So the elemental dignities are important, especially in cartomancy. They also carry over into tarot, but very rarely do people use it in tarot. But it is very heavily used in the regular card meetings. So here it is. Okay, we have the four elements: fire, water, air, and earth. Okay, each suit is matched up to an element. Okay, so fire and water weaken each other, air and earth weaken each other, and all other combinations strengthen each other. So here we go. The first line on past energy. Fire and water weaken each other. Let's see. We have water here, earth here, and air here. There's no fire, okay? Air and earth weaken each other. So this is air. Swords are air. And earth weaken each other. So that whole thing of this anxiety, this third-party energy that's interfering, this idea that a gift is going to be offered, or maybe two of them, and you're going to have to choose one or the other, and you're going to choose one that shows you the highest good. And we also see that there's more red cards. The answer is yes. So this kind of cancels out this negative stuff, okay, and or this problematic, I should say, stuff. And let's see, then we have earth and water. So this strengthens. Okay. Yeah. So this is the energy. It's actually very positive. You're not in as bad a position as you think. You're loved. People get you. You're walking towards what doesn't, away from what does not serve you and towards what does. There's going to be a couple of offers made. You're going to have to decide on what is in your best interest and for your highest good. It's going to result in a good thing. So that, or it did result in a good thing. So now we're here. This is the present. Okay, so water and air. No, water and earth. Water and earth. No, water and fire. Fire and water. Yeah, fire and water. I always forget. The clubs are fire. So we have fire and water. Okay, so this is like an ace of... Okay. This weakens. Okay, this weakens. And then we have earth and air, which also weaken each other. So this success, okay, is weakened by this eight of spades energy. Okay? This success that's going to be very profitable is boosted up by this king. However, this king's love, feelings, whatever, he's all up in his feelings, weaken the situation. Okay? So be wary of a situation where it might be, unless you're in a love relationship with me, I'm not going to support what you're doing. Be careful of that. Make sure it's independent success. Don't let this influence, as much as you might have the hearts for this person or whatever, influence this. Okay? Now we have the final one, which I'm very interested in because it's the current and into the near future. It's earth, then air. They weaken each other. Okay? So it looks like that conversation and that is probably going to happen because these weaken each other, kind of cancel each other out. So the thing of harsh words or quarrel being said or being afraid to come to a person and talk to them and assuming that this person has dropped them and there's no hope, that's going to fall to the wayside. The person's probably going to have a conversation with you. Might be upset at first, but to clear the air, just again, be mindful of your tongue. And then this is going to prevail, right? Water strengthens. And then we have earth strengthens. This strengthens this. And then we have this here. Earth and air. Earth and air weaken each other, cancel each other out. So this is going to prevail. This person loves you, respects you, sees your worth, values what you're doing. They're going to make an effort to work with you and resolve any conflicts or misunderstandings. And they might take the opportunity, but they're going to be wary and not take this too seriously. That is the final outcome. Love wins. There you go. Okay? And then as for this reversed, we're told that this is going to get better, but you have to be mindful of this energy, right? Eight of Swords energy, your health, okay? And you have to be mindful to think with your brain, not your toto, to receive this, okay? Which is money, success, gift, a real one, not a pittance offered, that might have all these strings attached, but a real abundance, real glow up as well. Okay, there it is. This is a yes. If there was a question about recent past, this was a yes. This was a no. However, the no is buffered by a great deal of love and, admiration, sexual attraction, whatever it is. And you're going to get your money. Your money's coming. Your stability is coming. Okay, so it's buffered by that. And then this one, the last one, if it was a yes, no question, the answer for the future is yes. And I just told you, this cancels out this fear of talking or feeling like you got to have liquid courage in you to have a conversation. This person is going to have the courage to put the liquid courage down and sit down and talk with you, which is going to be an amazing breakthrough and a healing thing for them. Okay, and this, they're going to see it for what it is, and they're going to proceed with caution and not be manipulated so much or hurt so much. They're going to realize that this has to do with the father wound, and they're going to work on it. And they're not going to let that person use that wound to mess with their head and cause them to make and they're gonna see that they might squash it or whatever so that peace is kept or whatever, but they're not necessarily gonna reconcile with this person because they're gonna see this for what it is. They're more likely, this is the reconciliation card, to reconcile with you and work with you, and that is because they love you. Love wins. This person is deeply in love with you, but they're willing to accept friendship. They're willing to accept whatever it is. It's more important for them to be on good terms with you and have you in their life than to necessarily have the situation be, a sexual or romantic thing. It's one, like when you love someone, you're willing to let them even be with somebody else because you want them to be happy, right? And as long as they're not completely out of your energy in your life and you see that they're okay, you're good. Right? And we move from a love that is immature and that's about codependency and manipulation and keeping them guessing to a mature situation. So this person moves up in a short time and heals and evolves, and that's a beautiful thing. Spirit's doing their job with this person. There you go. That's the end. That's the bottom line. I'm gonna ask for one more bit of advice and then I'm gonna go. And you guys have been super duper duper patient. I don't do this often because it's long. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to this. This was the overall whatever, concern, energy, worry, situation. I'm going to get this, and then I'm going to get my butt in gear because it's already 10:50, 10:58, and I got stuff to do and place to go and people see. Money stuff to handle. Gotta run some errands, run to court, run to social services. I gotta handle my business. Okay. I was compelled to read. I don't know if this resonates with people, but if it does, I hope it's helpful to you. We have a Knight of Pentacles that wants to stick his head out. Mind your business. You're irrelevant. Trying to be relevant. Trying to see what's going on. Trying to get, dude, Oh, it's giving me 3 cards. It's giving me inner conflict, compromise, harmony, order, fear of confrontation. This person is in an unhappy home. There are family disputes, arguments, separation, lack of security, betrayal, neglect, putting up a false face, a false front. This person has childhood issues, possible sexual abuse issues, bad news, canceled engagement, broken dreams, jealousy, childlessness, and envy. Okay? This person's in a lot of inner turmoil, but they're gonna come towards you and have that conversation because you're that important. It's that important to them. Something about your energy helps them do it. They don't wanna lose that connection, and they're gonna have. If there's gonna be, it might come off a little bit as a confrontation at first. Stay patient. Oh, the Hierophant. Education, teaching, knowledge, learning, tradition, conformity, guidance, institutions, values, and breast. This is a maybe card. Someone wants to know if they're going to do all right in school. Maybe. Depends on you. That depends on you. Whoever asked about that. Something to do with the institutions of higher learning. That depends on you. Entirely on you. It's in your hands. Okay, last bit of advice. Thank you, Spirit. Love wins. This is a Cancer energy, Queen of Cups, empathy, tender-hearted, security, loving, warmth, kindness, a healer, happiness, faithful, supportive, a good mother, and inspirational. Be open to receive the healing, love, and nurturing that you need. Take that leap of faith because this person loves you back. Okay? I showed you the outcome. Love wins. There's all different types of love. Love wins in this one. Okay? That's Spirit's advice. Don't be afraid to open up. Okay? Alright. Thank you, angels. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Yeshua. Thank you, Father God, using me to bring messages of healing and guidance to people who may need it today. Cards are only tools. Glory belongs to God. I have no special powers. These are like the Rorschach tests. You go to the psychiatrist, they show you the Rorschach, they ask you what's in the ink blot, what symbols you see. Help you get insight on what's going on. That's all it is. They don't have any special power or authority. Your authority is the Lord Himself, your relationship to Him, and your relationship to yourself. He does not interfere with even your free will. Your destiny is 100% in your hands. Every day, every second of the day, we make a decision whether to do right, whether to do wrong, whether to do nothing. Okay? A pack of cards does not determine your outcome. Father God, thank you for using me. Please close out all the energy in this room, in this household, among the people here. Please close out all this, any energy that is not from here. Send it back to its source in peace, not to return again uninvited. In the name of Christ Jesus, Yeshua HaMashiach. Amen. Okay, have a good day. Hope that helped.